You've been told to take magnesium for your muscles. You've been eating your protein, doing your exercises, and you're still feeling that frustrating weakness creep in. What if I told you that for years you've been focusing on the wrong piece of the puzzle? My name is Dr. Howard. As what some have called the world's longest practicing physician, I've seen generations of medical advice come and go. And tonight, we're going to correct a fundamental error in how we approach muscle health after the age of 60. Forget making magnesium your primary focus. It's important, yes, but it's the foundation, not the master architect of overnight repair. Tonight, the grandmother and I will reveal the 2 critical nutrients you must take at night to command your body to rebuild muscle while you sleep. And I've structured this for a reason. We'll start with the second most important nutrient, because it's a powerful ally. But you must stay for the number 1 nutrient, because without it, the first is simply incomplete. 4. I will also reveal the 3 supplements you must never take in the evening. These are the hidden saboteurs, and the last one is so common, so deceptively healthy. I'm almost certain you have taken it this week, unknowingly erasing your hard work. I know this because I saw it happen just last month with a patient of mine, a retired engineer named Arthur, who was doing everything right and still getting weaker. His story will be a warning for us all. The core problem we face isn't just muscle loss. It's a condition called anabolic resistance. It's a fancy term for a simple, frustrating reality. As we age, our muscles become deaf to the signals to grow. You can eat all the protein you want, but if the signal isn't received, the building blocks are simply washed away. It's like sending letters to a house when no one is home. This resistance is driven by inflammation, hormonal changes, and a decreased sensitivity in our muscle cells. This is the scientific root of sarcopenia, the thief that steals our strength and independence.
Think of your body as a great, ancient tree. In its youth, its roots drink deeply from the soil, pulling nutrients with ease to grow strong branches. But as the seasons pass, the soil can become compacted, and the roots struggle. The tree may see the sun and feel the rain, therefore it knows it must grow, but its roots can no longer draw in the nourishment it needs. This is what happens to our muscles. They remember the sun, but they have forgotten how to drink from the earth. We must learn to soften the soil again. The elders of my village knew that strength didn't just come from the hunt. It came from the sea. They would gather oysters, a gift from the deep, and call them the seeds of vitality. They believed these seeds, eaten as the moon rose, awakened the body's spirit for the next day.
What their wisdom knew, science can now explain. Those seeds of vitality were extraordinarily rich in zinc, our number 2 nutrient. Zinc isn't just a mineral, it's a master key. It is a necessary cofactor for over 300 enzymes in your body, and think of them as the microscopic construction workers. During deep sleep, when your body releases growth hormone and insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, it is zinc that activates the enzymes that take amino acids from your protein and assemble them into new muscle tissue. But, and this is critical, studies from the World Health Organization suggest that up to 40% of seniors are deficient in zinc. Therefore, their body has the blueprint, growth hormone, and the building materials, protein. But the construction crew, the enzymes, has been sent home for the night. Their anabolic resistance remains high.
Zinc is the village craftsman. The young hunters can bring him the finest wood and the strongest vines. But without the craftsman to direct the work, no hut is built. At night, zinc tells every part of the body its role, so a strong village can be built while you rest.
In my practice, I've seen it time and again. A patient's strength stalls. Their recovery is slow. We correct a zinc deficiency, typically with 15 to 30 milligrams of a well-absorbed form, like zinc picolinate. And within a month, it's as if we've finally softened the soil. They feel the difference.
Now, for the master architect. We taught our children to honor the sun, to let its light bless their skin. We called it drinking the light. But in the long rainy season, when the sun would hide for weeks, the elders had a secret: the liver oil from deep water fish. This, they said, was like drinking the stored sunlight.
The grandmother's stored sunlight is, of course, vitamin D3, our #1 most crucial nighttime nutrient for muscle repair. Here's the science, and it's beautiful. Your muscle cells are studded with what are called vitamin D receptors, or VDRS. Think of them as docking stations. When vitamin D3, taken with your evening meal, circulates in your blood as you sleep, it locks into these receptors. This does two profound things. First, it directly enhances the muscle's ability to handle calcium, which is essential for the power of every single muscle contraction. Second, and most importantly, activating these VDRS travels to the cell's nucleus and turns on the genes, the literal genetic switches, that are directly responsible for protein synthesis. It is the ultimate command that tells the cell to stop waiting and start building. Furthermore, a 2021 meta-analysis in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism confirmed a significant link between healthy vitamin D levels and optimized testosterone production in men, a hormone that peaks during sleep and is absolutely essential for muscle growth.
The garden of your body may be sleeping, but vitamin D is the moonlight that tells the roots to grow deep and strong, even in the darkness. Therefore, you wake up not as you were, but more powerful.
Now, you can do all of this perfectly, but still fail if you allow saboteurs into your evening ritual. This brings me to Arthur. Arthur was an 82-year-old retired engineer, a man of logic and precision. He came to me, utterly frustrated. He showed me his hands. "Doctor," he said, voice strained, "I used to be able to open any jar in this house. Now my wife has to do it for me. I follow my exercise plan. I eat chicken and fish. But I'm losing myself. It's not just about strength. It's about dignity." He was experiencing the deepest pain, the pain of effort, without results. After reviewing everything, we found the culprit. It wasn't in his medicine cabinet. It was his evening health tea, a green tea blend marketed for metabolism. He believed it was helping him stay lean, but it contained a significant dose of our first saboteur, caffeine. Caffeine taken within 6 to 8 hours of bedtime has been shown to devastate your sleep architecture. It blocks adenosine receptors, preventing your brain from getting the signal to enter deep, slow-wave sleep. Therefore, you miss the single most important window for growth hormone release. Arthur's evening tea was literally cancelling out his body's prime time for muscle repair. We replaced it with a simple chamomile tea. The result? Within a month, his soreness vanished, and his grip strength increased by 15%. He called me just to tell me he had opened a stubborn jar of pickles, a small victory, but to him it meant everything. The second saboteur is one I see constantly. Margaret, a 78-year-old retired teacher, was fighting fatigue. She was a social butterfly, loved her water aerobics class, but felt she was lagging behind her friends. Her doctor had recommended a B-complex vitamin. She was a creature of habit and took all her pills after dinner. She was doing what she thought was right. But B vitamins are metabolic activators. They help your body convert food to energy. Taking them at night is like stoking a fire, just as you're trying to cool the house down to sleep. It can subtly elevate your nervous system and disrupt the transition into restorative sleep. Therefore, her body was never fully entering the state of deep rest and repair. She was caught in a state of tired and wired. The fix was comically simple. We moved her B-complex to breakfast. Within a week, she reported the best sleep she'd had in years. Within 2 months, she was leading the pack in her aerobics class. She regained her energy because she finally gave her body the quiet nights it needed to rebuild. And the third saboteur, it's perhaps the most common of all, a nightly glass of wine. People believe it helps them relax. But while alcohol might make you feel drowsy, It severely disrupts the second half of your sleep cycle, particularly REM sleep, which is crucial for mental and physical repair. It also dehydrates you and can impair muscle protein synthesis. That relaxing nightcap is actively preventing your muscles from healing. These saboteurs are dangerous because they feed into the greatest, most destructive myth about aging. That muscle loss is inevitable. That after 60, 70, or 80, it's all downhill. That is a clinical falsehood.
An old tree is not a dying tree. Even with wrinkled bark and gnarled limbs, it can sprout the most vibrant new green shoots after a long winter. It never forgets how to grow. Your body is the same. It never forgets. You just have to give it the right spring rain.
The grandmother is right. The science is unequivocal. Studies on resistance training in older adults, even into their 90s, show that we can absolutely build new muscle mass, a process called hypertrophy. Our muscle stem cells, known as satellite cells, don't just disappear. They lie dormant, waiting for the right signals, resistance exercise, and the proper nutrients. When you provide those signals, they awaken and get to work, repairing and building. Believing you're too old to build muscle is the number one psychological barrier to actually doing it. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Therefore, you must discard this myth completely. Your body is ready to build. You just have to give it the tools. So now I ask you, take a moment and think about your own evening routine. Which of these saboteurs, a cup of tea, a vitamin, a glass of wine, might have unknowingly snuck in? Or perhaps it's the myth itself, the quiet voice telling you it's too late. Be honest with yourself. Share your discovery in the comments below. Your story might be the one that helps someone else solve their own frustrating puzzle. I promise to give you the complete picture. You now know to take zinc and vitamin D3 at night. But there is one final secret to making this strategy work perfectly, a piece of information that makes the entire system twice as effective. Taking vitamin D3 is like hiring a fleet of delivery trucks to bring calcium into your body. This is good, but without a traffic cop, those trucks can drop their cargo in the wrong places, like your arteries and soft tissues, where you don't want it. The traffic cop is vitamin K2. This vital nutrient activates proteins that tell calcium exactly where to go, into your bones to make them strong, and away from your arteries. While its direct effect on muscle is still being researched, ensuring calcium is properly managed is essential for your entire musculoskeletal system. For every 1,000 to 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 you take, modern longevity science suggests pairing it with about 100 micrograms of vitamin K2. Therefore, you are not just building muscle, you are building a holistically stronger body. That is the final key. Your body is not a lost cause. It is a garden waiting for the right nourishment at the right time. Tonight you learned how to water it by moonlight. But our journey is not over. Next week, the grandmother and I are going to confront an enemy hiding in plain sight. We will uncover the one common food, likely in your pantry right now, that silently drains your cellular energy after the age of 60. And no, it's not sugar or processed flour. It's something you've probably been told is perfectly healthy. This information is too important to miss. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Wise Longevity podcast. Be the first to know. The wisdom of the ages, verified by science, is how we reclaim our strength.
Thank you for joining us on the Wise Longevity podcast, where ancestral wisdom and modern science come together for your well-being.